Hello, welcome back. Now in this video, hopefully I'm going to show you how to pick a lock. Now the set of picks that I'm using, I picked up off eBay, cost £7 UK, about $10, and that included the Practice acrylic padlock. You can get them cheaper without the padlock for probably around about sort of £4, $5, but I do think it's quite important. Now I've never owned a set of picks before, so I'm sure if a locksmith looked at these they would say they were rubbish, but to me I thought they were quite good for the money. They're all metal construction, seem to be robust enough maybe to sort of use on the odd occasion that you find a need. Now it's not essential you understand how a barrel lock works, but it does help to visualise it when you're trying to pick one. In essence, what you have is a key with a series of cutouts and then pins of corresponding length that match those, which when they all line up inside the lock barrel form a nice clean straight line. This is called the shear line. So if we now look at a cut through of a barrel lock, you'll see that there's two sets of pins. You've got the red pins at the bottom and the blue pins at the top. Sometimes they're called tumblers. Now what we need to do is that we need to raise the bottom pin up to the shear line to allow the barrel to rotate. And I think I can show that a bit more clearly in this illustration. So here is a lock that is currently locked, and as you see, as the pins move up, once we get to the shear line, the barrel is able to rotate and you're able to undo the lock. Now, of course, there's more than one pin or tumbler in a lock, typically 5 or 6, even in a simple lock. So this is where you use your pick to go along and raise each pin up to the shear line. Now each pin is being pushed down by a spring inside the lock. So as we move from pin to pin, we need to apply some tension to make sure that the pin stays at the shear line. And we do that with the form of a little bar called a tension wrench. And as simple as it is, that's the only two tools that we need. Now there are a variety of different picks to suit different locks. For a beginner like myself, I'm going to start off with what is known as the L-rake. This is a tool with various sort of peaks and troughs, and generally it's the easiest one to use to start with. Anyway, enough about the talking. Let's get on and see if we can open this acrylic padlock. Now the first thing that you want to do is take your tension wrench and place it in the bottom part of the key opening, and most locks open in a clockwise direction. Now using just one or two fingers, you want to apply a very small amount of tension on the wrench. Too little and the pins will fall back under the power of the springs, but too much and they'll jam and they won't move. Once you've inserted the pick, you slide it and wiggle it backwards and forwards, and what you're trying to do is line up all of the pins to the shear line. Now like most things, when you try it might feel a bit awkward at first. This is where the practice comes in with the acrylic padlocks. You do kind of get a feel for it with the right amount of rake with the pick and the tension on the bar. Personally, I found the first time I tried it, it took me about a minute to open a lock, but the second time was quicker. And in the end I become quite proficient. I was able to open a lock in just about sort of 10 seconds, so it's not that difficult. So next thing for me was to put all that practice to a real purpose and open this lock on my shed, where I rather stupidly locked the keys inside. Yeah, now the commercial padlock on the shed, pretty much the same as the acrylic one. It's slightly more sort of finer tolerances, but the technique is exactly the same, and I'm pleased to say that I opened it in no time. So that's about it. That's about all I'm able to tell you. I mean, practice makes perfect, but in theory you should be able to open most locks in your house. Of course, the more expensive and the more secure the lock, the more difficult it's going to be to open, and I imagine that a lot of locks have got a deterrent or a bar or something built into the barrel to prevent them being sort of picked. But anyway, these are quite handy tools. You know, not something you perhaps want to carry around with you late at night if you get stopped by the cops, of course, but keep these in your toolbox, and when you lock yourself out or something or lose a key, and yeah, you can have a go and open a lock yourself. Well, that's about it. Thanks for watching. Cheers. Subscribe for more videos, and yeah, I'll catch you all on the next one.